Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms. And we're out here hopefully to make a bunch of progress on the Quonset hut. But that's kind of dependent on how much help I get. Right now I've got myself and Billy. And I've made it be known far and wide that I'll pay people to help. And no one seems that motivated by that. If I get more helpers, we'll get a lot done. If not, may just be 1 or 2 arches. But I did notice the oldest guy that I invited was here before I was, and I live here, so maybe that's what it is. Right now we're pre-assembling arches and getting them ready, so if we get a crew, we can stand them up in a hurry. Billy was frustrated that he didn't have a speaking part in the monologue, so I'm gonna give him an open floor. Do you have any jokes you want to tell?
You know what really grinds my gears?
A wrench.
Rock, you're really good at around here.
Yeah!
Let's see the setup.
This angle iron's been a great solution to make it easier to lift these. The way we're doing it is offsetting it from the bolt holes the arch is gonna use, 4 inches or so. And then we've got this just a few inches higher than our rail. And it gives us a good pivot point that doesn't put anything in a bind as we stand up the arch. Last time I was pulling 2 ropes and I was having trouble keeping the tension even on the 2 ropes. So this time we're gonna hook the 2 ropes to 1 point and then just have 1 rope running up from there. See if that helps.
If you had bought a ring, you could have tied here, and tied here, and it would have, this is going to serve a similar purpose.
I got it.
Because it can't move side to side.
Well, I guess Billy was a Boy Scout or something, because while I'm telling you about this, he's done some kind of rope tying magic, and we're just gonna be able to.
I just started winding stuff around until it.
Give it the old wrap around. Now we're gonna have 1 rope to pull, and it'll pull from both sides.
All right, here we go.
Using that angle iron as a pivot point is the biggest thing we've figured out so far to make this easier. Tying the ropes like this also helped a lot. Except on the first one, we didn't get the 2 ropes evenly spaced, and it had us pulling more on one side than the other. Once we retied that, it came up more in a straight line on the rest of the arches. Crew's up to 4 people, so we're gonna have 2 for right now, tightening the bolts because that takes longer than anything, and the other 2 will be building the next arch. Hopefully, I've got a couple more people here soon. For this to move efficiently, you need 4 people tightening bolts and 2 people prepping the next arch. By the end of the day, we are almost halfway through with the building. And I feel like there's so much that I've learned through this process that I wish I would have known or been able to see before starting. So I've put together a playlist that shows our everyday work on it, and also, at the end of the project, I'm going to have a comprehensive video showing the entire process from cutting grade into this hillside, leveling the pad, installing drainage around it, putting up the building, insulating, lighting, the doors, everything that goes into this building. So, if you're thinking about putting one of these up, I'd recommend you jump into that playlist, and there should be quite a bit of good content in there. Probably the biggest struggle I've had is trying to work on this by myself. And there are little things you can do by yourself, but if you're wanting to make good time on this, you need a crew of people who are working well together and taking the job seriously to get it done. And that's what we had today.
Get underneath it and just pick it up.
And whenever, in a minute, you'll have to get a board like he has.
Yeah, by the time he gets the board.
Keep walking in. The most arches that we had put up in a day before this was 3. And I showed up today with a goal of just getting 4 arches. But even though the younger members of my crew showed up kind of late, when they got here, they were ready to work. And we ended up getting 6 arches in about 6 hours of having a full crew. And I was really pleased with that. Considering the previous time we worked, it was taking us about 3 hours per arch. It all just comes down to having a good routine. Here you can see us moving a finished arch into place, setting it on these pallets so that it's level, and we can start the lift. Then we tie ropes on and get the scaffolding in place and stand up the arch. This is actually the quickest part. The longest part, that was originally taking us almost 2 hours, is putting the bolts in. Now, having more people, we've got that down to about a 40-minute process. And start to finish, each arch is taking us right at an hour. I'm really happy with the progress we got done today. In the previous 2 weeks, we finished 8 arches. Now, it sounds worse than it is, because there were only like 4 work days in that time that I had help. But still, to get 6 arches in one day feels really good. We have 14 total arches standing up and 15 left to go, so we're almost halfway. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. You'll see more of our videos over here, and I'll see you next time.